In this episode of the Swearwolves podcast, David and I shove a shoe in a toilet, fight awkwardly, and twirl around with wild abandon as we discuss the 1981 film Possession. There's also a fucking squid. Like, literally a fucking squid. Like, this squid likes to fuck.
We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there.
Welcome back to the Swearwolves. I'm Bret.
I'm David.
David.
Yes, Bret.
How are you, my friend?
I'm fantastically well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm turning into my father.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. And it's been more apparent as, I don't know, the last couple of years, I've like, this is such my father fucking thing to do. And none more apparent than, you know, I got new glasses. We talked about this a while ago, but I got new glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I have to wear my glasses all the time. I don't, except for when I read, I have to take, because I'm fucking...
That's weird.
I'm an old
mostly
man
the
now.
opposite. Like, I should be wearing glasses right now to read my notes, but I'm just going to squint.
Well, I have to have glasses, and so if I want to go outside, I have to have prescription sunglasses.
Yeah.
And I like wearing sunglasses. And I never could growing up because I never had prescription sunglasses. I just had regular glasses.
So you can never look cool?
Yeah. I could never look cool at all. I would always be like... And then driving was a pain in the ass when you don't have sunglasses. And so as I got older, then I got prescription sunglasses. Well, the pain in the ass about prescription sunglasses is you're constantly taking them off, putting them back on, and switching them out with your regular glasses. There's no good... And especially if you want to look good. But I'm at this age now. This is why I bring back to becoming my father. I'm at the age now where style takes a backseat to convenience.
Function over fashion?
So yeah, function over faction. So I have these, David, which just kind of magnetically clip on. Now, they don't look that bad.
I thought you were going to have the flippy kind, like Dwayne Wayne, Different World style.
No, these flip. They have little magnets in the corner. For those of you who are listening to this, they have little magnets on basically just the sunglasses part. And there's other magnets. You can hear it click when it goes on. There's other magnets that go on there. And I'm telling you something, David, these are the greatest goddamn things ever invented.
Those don't look bad. Like my grandparents, I don't know if they still have them, but they used to have the real thick ones that like clip over the top of your glasses. They look like you just got back from the eye doctor.
Yeah, there's the ones, that my grandma had after she had cataract surgery, and she had to, like, put them on over her regular glasses.
Yeah.
And they were just, like, big, boxy ones. Or there's the flip-up kind that kind of clip on. Mm-hmm. I can't do those. I'm still enough stylish to know that that's fucking lame looking.
Gonna get wedgies.
But I am a dad. And I'm, like, a dad through and through. I wear my sneakers and my shorts. My kids make fun of me. So anyway,
what are you gonna do? You know,
it's time goes by. Time goes by very fast, and it seems like just yesterday I was thinking, my God, my dad's so old, and he's such a lame-o and things like that. And now I'm like, I'm the same age that my dad was when I thought he was fucking lame, and my kids think I'm fucking lame. So it's the circle of life, David.
Exactly.
It's the wheel of wonder, as they say.
As we spin around on this giant marble.
I just was thinking about that, and I wanted to talk to you about that and share with you my experience of becoming an old man. It has nothing to do with the movie we picked this week.
No, not really. Other than the movie was kind of long, so a lot of time did pass while watching it. Your kids grew up right in front of your eyes.
My kids graduated high school in the time it took me to watch this movie. This movie that you picked this movie.
I did.
And had you heard of this movie? Had you seen this movie? Like, what was the impetus behind this decision?
I had never seen it. I had heard of it, and I think Shudder made a post or something like on social media about how this movie was like going to be streaming on their platform, and it's one that like I knew had kind of a cult status. So I looked up the cast and stuff, and I was like, okay, this seems interesting enough. It's got Mr. Sam Neill in it. We'll give it a shot. But I didn't know anything else going into it. Like I had no idea like what the movie was even about.
I had never heard of it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of shit that I've never heard of. You know, I'm. It's a wonder why I don't get called out more often, because people are probably like, this guy is a fucking horror fan. Because there's people on the internet, and maybe it's just these internet fucking
Nerds.
fucks, yeah, who like to like, oh, I know everything. It's because you have the fucking Wikipedia in your pocket and you're just typing away. Like, I do a podcast and you ask me a question, I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Or
There's
they're like,
so
I've
much
seen
shit.
every film. It's like, well,
Yeah.
good for you. I also have a life and a job, and in your case, a family. And
Yeah, and I get laid.
yeah, exactly. Like I go to bed at night next to my wife. Who,
And I fuck her.
yeah, exactly.
That takes up at least
you've
3.5
never felt
minutes of my life.
Some of these people that type this stuff on the internet, like they've never felt the touch of a woman without having paid for it.
Or man.
Or man. True.
The thing about it is, though, is I'm surprised that we haven't been called out more often from people, whether it be online or we have a couple of times. These people have messaged us and they're like, well, technically, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, all right, dude. Yeah, whatever. Maybe I misspoke. Maybe I just don't know. Okay. I'm a horror
suspect we're
fan.
going to get some of that with this movie.
I'm a horror fan. Right? I like horror movies. It doesn't mean I like every fucking horror movie I've ever seen. It doesn't mean that's the only genre I ever watch. In fact, to be honest with you, lately I've been kind of going, I only watch the 3 movies in between the time we record that are horror related, and I move on to other genres.
I've kind of been in the same mode lately. I've been watching a lot of other stuff.
I just sometimes you have to like just pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to get burnt out. Right?
Yeah, or divorced. Like my wife isn't a big horror fan, so it's like I gotta
Which is
mostly
really
watch
weird.
stuff when she's not around.
It's really weird. That's really weird for me because you're such a horror fan, and it's like you carry that on your sleeve, literally. Like your fandom
Right.
for horror. And when you met her, it wasn't like you were like, it's something you developed over your course of your relationship that she was like, well, that's David's thing. This is my thing. Like she knew it going into your relationship, and she still was like, man, I'll give him a chance, but fuck horror.
Yeah. It's just because I'm so damn charming, you know?
That's true. And you have a big old dick.
Big old
All right.
dog swinging past the knees.
Possession. 1981. Where were you? You were just a little penis.
I was, yeah, my penis was even smaller. That's a little baby. When did this come out? Oh, okay. May of 81. So I was not even 1.
Not even 1. Yeah. Release date May 27th, 1981. David, what was the number 1 movie? I will give you a hint. You will never guess it.
Ah, damn. Because I went with our good friend, Mr. John Carpenter, and I picked Escape from New York.
It should have been.
It
That should have been the number 1 movie. I don't know this movie. I saw the name of it and I was like, I'll look that up later.
Brett,
And
I've seen whatever film this is because I watched so many of them.
the movie's called The Four Seasons.
Nope. That's a hotel.
It's also a
That's a
series
Frankie
of
Valli's
classical. Yep, Frankie Valli's group, and it's also a series of classical pieces by
Yes.
that one fucking guy,
By some guy who's dead.
Vivaldi.
Yeah.
God damn. Anyway, The Four Seasons. I think Carol Burnett's in it. I'm not even going to bother looking it up.
No.
I don't know. It's some movie. It's not Escape from New York. The number 1 song, on the other hand, you will know the song. I don't know if you'll guess the song, but you'll know it.
Is it Taint-Ed Love by Soft Cell?
No.
Damn.
But that's a good song.
0 for
Hey,
2.
that song, Tainted Love, like, it goes into
Oh, yes.
that fucking
Baby.
Diana Ross and
Yeah.
Baby, where did our love go? That's the extended cut version. And every time I hear that song, like, I hear, like, I want to hear
Yeah,
the
you're
full
like, are they
thing.
going to do, you hear it in your head.
Are they
you're
gonna
like,
do
yeah,
the 7-minute version?
Is it going to keep going?
Yeah.
It's like, what's that Green Day song? Brain Stew? Sometimes they play it back to back with the song, was it Jaded? So when that last chord rings out, it's like, it's going to go down, 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 down. And then when it doesn't, I'm like, oh.
Well, that's true. Like that Queen song, "We Are the Champions," and
Oh, yeah. And We Will Rock You.
"We Will Rock You." Is that one song?
No, but
Is
yeah,
that like We
they
Will
often
Rock
do
You
play
slash?
those back to back.
Every time you hear We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions is right after it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because not every time though. Because sometimes you hear it on the radio, like
Every
they have
time,
that
David.
Dun, and you want to hear the "I paid my dues," but yeah, sometimes it just stops. You're like, oh,
Yep. You're like, oh,
fucking the
someone's
killjoys
getting
at
fired.
the radio station.
Number one song was not that. The number one song was by a little singer named Kim Carnes.
Okay.
It was Betty Davis Eyes.
Oh, okay.
You know that song?
Davis eyes. Yeah,
You sound just like her.
just like her.
And she'll bleed you, and she'll bleed you. And she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. She's
Dang, dude,
precocious.
81? I didn't know that song was that old.
That song's old as fuck, dude.
Damn. I thought that was like
Kim
late
Carnes
80s.
is 103. No, yeah, that song.
Kim Carnes, do you think she's got the sunglasses that clip on top of her regular glasses?
Totally,
For sure.
totally. She's got to cover up those Betty Davis eyes. What the fuck does that even mean? Betty Davis eyes? I guess I don't even understand what that means. Betty Davis, did she have like, she had kind of frog eyes.
Yeah,
Betty
yeah.
Davis. She had like sapo eyes is what we used to call this kid because, well, that's Spanish for frog, but it had eyes that bulged out.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's what it's about. Songs about like bulging eyes.
And then isn't bulging eyes like a sign of like some kind of malnutrition or some kind of disease?
I don't know, but I see little commercials for it on TV sometimes where you got like
Yeah.
that woman. She's like, "Oh, I was so embarrassed of my bulging eyes.
She's
I was
wearing
always wearing
fucking
Bret sunglasses to cover up my fucking eyes." So then I went to my doctor who prescribed blah blah blah, and now everything
Yeah.
is better.
Yeah, and then they go through all the things like, oh yeah, it'll help you with your bulging eyes, but you won't be able to poop ever
Yeah,
again.
your dick won't work anymore. There's one I heard the
belly
other day that
button.
said something about like the side effects. It had something about the perineum, and I was like, "Ooh,
The perineum? Is that your taint?
I don't know."
What's
I feel like it's
what's a
dick
peri-
related. Watch, maybe it's just
the
like a layer
perineum?
of skin or something. But yeah, it has something to do with taints or balls or penises.
What
or,
is the perineum? How do you spell it?
do a Google image search. See, I got a dick on your screen. A big old dick.
Perineum. Perineum. The perineum is the thin layer of skin between your genitals, vaginal opening, or scrotum, and anus. It's the fucking
You're
taint,
right. It's the
dude.
fucking taint. The gooch,
Yeah.
if you will.
The gooch. What happened? Was it like your perineum will fall off?
I can't remember, but I was like, whatever that is, I do not want to even flirt with that.
So yeah, sapo eyes is a fucking condition, and if this chick has got fucking bulging eye
She should see a
syndrome,
physician.
she should see a physician. That should be your song, Kim Carnes. They should play that song in the background of the commercial for that medication.
Yes. And your perineum might get inflamed.
Oh fuck.
Fucking Betty
so yeah,
Davis's
that's
perineum. There's your song.
I tickled Betty Davis's perineum by Bret Anderson and David Thompson.
Yes.
All right, Possession, 1981, written by Friedrich. I'm going to say Friedrich because I like saying that instead
Friedrich.
of Frederick. Written by Friedrich Tuten. Ah, yes. I've been, I've been tootin'. It's very common. It's very common for me to toot. Tootin' common. Get it? It's a little joke. It's a little archaeology joke and a fart joke at the same time.
It works on
It's like you learn something. So funny. Also written by, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Do you know how to pronounce this guy's name? Andres?
Yeah, Andre maybe?
Andre?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of
Dude,
consecutive
anytime there's a-
consonants there.
Yeah. Anytime there's an NDRZ next to each other, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to say Andres
That sounds good.
Zulawski.
Yeah.
He also directed this and Oh no, he didn't do the music. Another guy named Andrzej
Yeah. That's weird.
Korzinski.
Maybe in Poland that is a very common name.
Probably.
It's probably the Polish Andrew. Maybe. Andy.
Yeah, probably. Produced by Marie-Laurie Rayal. This film is kind of like one of those, when we did those Giallo films in the past.
Yeah.
And we talked about how they combined, like it was a German film, an American film, and an Italian film, and they all got together and they made one
Made a
film.
stew.
That's kind of...
Made a movie gumbo.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah. It's very
Because you got
European.
people from all over the place. This movie stars Isabel Adjani as Anna, Sam Neill as Mark. Sam Neill, of course, is
Dr. Alan Grant.
in The Mouth of Madness. He's not that doctor,
No.
but he's from In the Mouth of Madness, but he's also from Jurassic Park. What was his character's name in The Mouth of Madness? I don't know.
I can't remember.
But he's in John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. He's in Jurassic Park. He looks like Hugo Weaving to me.
He does.
Like, I always confuse those two.
Yeah, there's definitely
I'm
a
like-
resemblance.
I'm like, was Sam Neill in
Oh, fucking Matrix.
The Matrix?
Is he in the Lord of the Rings movies? Is that the other guy?
Yeah. There's some other people in this too. There's Heinz Bennett is Heinrich.
Heinrich.
Yeah, that's about it. The Heinrich. That's about it. I mean, there's other people that are in this movie, obviously, but those are like the three big
Yeah, that's our main
people. There's
Our
also
principal cast.
Anna and Mark are a married couple. We'll get into this, and they have a son. And that son's name is Bob.
Bob.
Which reminded me of
that was
like
weird,
House
too.
by the Cemetery. Wasn't that the movie House by the
Oh
Cemetery?
yeah. The annoying
With the
little
fucking
kid.
Bob. Everybody hates Bob.
Yeah, fuck Bob.
The runtime for this movie. Okay. So the Shudder version, which is what we watched, is 124 minutes.
Okay.
There is a U.S. cut, and it ranges anywhere between 80 and 97 minutes.
Oh,
David,
shit.
why couldn't we have watched the U.S. cut?
I was gonna say, yeah, why? Yeah, give me that one. Rub that one
This
right
movie
on my
was
perineum.
long. This movie was long, 124 minutes. That's why I'm like, there's anywhere between 44 and like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Yeah. Budget for this movie was $2.4 million. What do you think the box office was?
4 million.
No, not at all. 4
David, you
million.
damn fool! It didn't make that much.
1.1 million. This movie kind of tanked.
It's the Frederick Tootin.
Hotbox.
All right, so this movie did come out on VHS, and on the front of the box, there's different versions of the VHS, but I'm going to go with the one that I liked. On the front of the box, it just says Possession at the top in kind of this like weird red. It's a weird font, but it's in red, and then there's an image of this. It's like a painting. It's not like a photo. It's like a painting of this woman from the backside, and she's naked. we could tell she's naked because we could see the top of her butt crack. But then, like right below that is like it's all in the shadows. The
You
rest
can't
of
see it. Yeah,
everything is in
the perineum is lurking in the shadows.
Yes, the perineum's in the shadows. But she's facing away from us, so we see her hair and everything. And she's doing that thing. You know how, like, when you were a kid and you were like, oh, I'm going to just go over here and make out with my girlfriend. And you'd put your hands on your
you start
shoulders.
rubbing. Yeah.
Well, that's what it looks like she's doing. Except for they're not her hands, I don't think. I think they are actually someone else's hands. They're like these, like, fucking, like witch hands almost. They're bony and they got long nails. Like demon hands, if you will.
Fuck.
And there's also like a halo of light surrounding her head that's kind of shooting out. But that's the front of the box. The back of the box, though, just has a description of the movie. So I'll get right into that. It says at the top, it says Anna has a husband and a lover, and she's cheating on both of them.
Oh shit.
This psychological occult tale stars Academy Award nominee Isabel Adjani and from the story of Adele H. She was in that movie. She got nominated for an Oscar. She didn't win. And Sam Neill from My Brilliant Career, or Jurassic Park. And features stunning special effects by expert Carlo Rambaldi, Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Alien. Anna Adjani is a sensual, sexually demanding young bride. When her husband travels, she transfers her desires to her lover. But now Anna is jealously guarding the identity of a new lover, and both men are desperate to know his identity. Anna will kill, lie, steal to protect him, for he is evil itself. An entity born of her desire and now liberated into the world. Possession is inhuman. Ecstasy fulfilled.
Ooh, sexy.
Dude,
I'm
I
all
don't
hot
like
right
that
now.
description. I don't like that description of that movie.
You do or you don't?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't like that. I mean, no, I do. I think, like, okay, listen. If I was at the video store back in the day, or even now, and I picked this movie up and I was like, oh, look, sexy naked girl with demon hands on her shoulders, and I turned it over and I read that, I wouldn't have rented this movie.
Yeah.
It's not my
Not your jam?
go-to. However, I did watch this movie, and reading the back of that box, that makes it sound kind of appealing. But after watching the movie, I'm like, well, yes, in a sense, that is true.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it
I
takes
was thinking the same thing as you're reading. I was like, so that's what this movie was about. Maybe.
You know
According
that
to the
song
person who wrote the
Eastbound?
box.
You know that song Eastbound and Down?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a line there. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Well, they took a long time to get to a short way.
Yes, they did. Took
They
the
had a
scenic
short
route.
way to go, and they took forever.
Lots of pit stops.
Of course, again, like I said, we watched the 124-minute version. Maybe in the 80-minute or the 97-minute or anything in between, the 90-minute, we'll just call it the 90-minute version. Maybe it is condensed and they edit out a lot of his stuff. And we can talk about that when we get to a review portion, like what maybe we liked or didn't like about the pacing of the movie. But suffice it to say, the pacing was slow.
Right. Slow burn, if you will.
I could run a mile faster than this thing. Their pace is slow. By the way, I ran 3 miles the other day in a row.
Oh, wow.
Without stopping.
Look at you.
For the first time in a long time. Like, I've been building up.
The fastest man alive.
Pretty much. I had Usain on the phone, and I was like, hey, bud, how do you do it? He's like, I don't run long distances. Who is this? Click. I'm like, oh, okay.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm a sprinter.
Mark. This is Sam Neill.
Yes.
Okay, so they say he's a spy, right?
Yeah, they never directly say that, but I guess it's insinuated.
Yeah, because they're in Germany. They're in Berlin.
Yeah,
I mean,
West
they live.
Germany.
The
wall's
they
still
live
up.
right. They live right by the wall. Like, you can see the wall. Oh, we can see the wall from our
From his
apartment.
window. That's awkward.
Yeah, he's always looking at it, and there's always like fucking Russians looking at him.
Their little binoculars.
Oh,
hello.
He's a spy.
Yeah.
He's in West Berlin, and he's just gotten home from a spy mission, and he's got his wife and Bob.
Honey, I'm home.
She's like, "Hey, thanks for coming home."
You
Shit,
again.
you're back. Yeah, about
Yeah.
that.
Fuck.
She's like, I want to get a divorce. In so many words. Listen, it takes, again, a long time to get there. It's like 15 minutes of them. I don't even know what.
Laying in bed, like just kind of talking, but
And
not
their
really
parents, but-
talking. It's very strange.
They don't really care about their kid.
No.
That kid gets left alone, gets dropped off at other people's places all the time. Nobody gives a shit about this kid. His name's Bob, for fuck's sake. Who names a kid Bob?
Yeah, come on. You call him Bobby.
At least call him Bobby or Robbie
Right.
or
Yeah.
something.
Making him grow up so
Bob.
fast. Fucking Bob.
Yeah, Bob is like a banker's name.
Yeah, that's an adult. That's an accountant.
Yeah. Oh, who's your accountant? Bob. Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
yeah, I know
respectable.
Bob. He's a good guy.
You don't go, who's your accountant? Bobby.
Yeah, and you go, ooh. You trust this guy?
I'd change.
But yeah, when he first comes home, that conversation, I think they have like I don't know if if he was in a cab or if he drove himself, but like they kind of talk like on the sidewalk outside their apartment building.
Yeah,
And it
outside
is
the apartment.
the most awkward conversation. And at first I
Yeah,
was
'cause
like,
she doesn't want him to come up.
yeah, but what I was like, Sam Neill's a good actor. This is not good acting. this feels like, I don't know if it was the writing or the acting or both, but I was like, this is very strange.
Was this one of Sam Neill's like first films?
I'm sure it was pretty early. So you would have been pretty young.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, Sam Neill is a decent actor. And he fucking, in this movie, he overacts so much.
Yeah. His acting does get better, but this first scene, I was like, ooh, I'm skeptical already. Right out of the gates.
Sam Neill's, yeah. I mean, it's one of them. He was in like some other movies. His career like started in like 75, so this movie came out in 81.
Yeah, he's pretty young in this movie.
He's pretty young. He hadn't got that Jurassic Park role yet.
Get that payday.
No. But anyway, they go back into the apartment and then they get naked and they just lay there. And I don't know, like part of me was like, did they fuck? Did they not fuck? Were they just laying there naked? At one point she asks him something and it's like he can't get a boner is what I thought.
Oh, okay.
But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking that. Maybe I was just like, I bet you he can't get it up. Fucking loser.
Fucking loser can't even please his wife.
She's like, are you cheating on me? She asks him and he's like, no, there's no one else. And then he's like, what about you?
Yeah, you
and
cheat
she's
on
like,
me when I'm gone? It's like, of course not.
No, not at all.
I'm
But
not
she
in
still
love
wants
with
a
you anymore,
divorce.
basically.
Yeah. And he acquiesces and he's like, look, I'll give you the apartment. I'll give you Bob.
Yeah, he just immediately is like, I'll relinquish my kid.
And he goes on a bender.
Oh, before he goes on the bender, though, he goes through all of her shit while she's gone. And he finds, because he's super jealous. He's consumed with this idea that she's cheating on him. And he finds a
she
postcard,
must be cheating on me,
like in a box. And it's got a note from a person named Heinrich. And it's kind of a love. I don't remember what it said, but it was kind of a little.
It says, I can't wait to. It says, I can't wait to
my
fuck
penis
you.
inside of your vagina.
Unlike what your husband could do, because I know he can't get it up.
Yeah. I'm going to please every orifice. He goes, oh, okay. But yeah, you're right. He goes on a fucking bender where he's just wasted.
Yeah. For like a week.
Yeah.
And then finally he snaps out of it somehow. And he goes back to the apartment. And fucking Bob's there by himself. And Bob is filthy. He's got like fudge all over him. I don't know what it is.
Or something. At first I thought it was blood. I was like, what's all over this kid's face? Feces.
Just covered in feces. And Bob, how old do you think Bob is? Fucking 5, 6, 7?
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Well, he puts Bob into the bath and then he's like, Anna comes back home and Mark tells her, he's like, you're not staying alone with this kid anymore. I'm taking back Bob and I'm taking back the apartment. Go fuck off.
Well, no, he even says like he wants their life back. Like he still wants her at this point. He wants to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like wants to fix things. And I was like, dude.
Oh,
why?
This is the thing that he does though. He says when she's not around, he's like, fuck her, blah 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 blah. But then when she comes around, he's always like, well, I want you back, baby. I love you. It's like he even says this, I think, later on. He's like, you put a spell on me. I don't know. I get so angry at you, but when I see you, I just want you.
Yeah. It's like in Happy Gilmore, like the little intercom system, like,
oh, who needs you?
I'm sorry, baby.
I want to touch you all over and over and again.
Exactly. Oh, God. But yeah, he wants to get back with her.
He gets a phone call.
Yeah, like in the middle of the night.
From Heinrich. Yeah. And he's like, hi, hello.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, wie geht's? Mark, this is Heinrich. Heinrich. Yes, Heinrich. That's my name.
No, not
Heinrich. No, I did not invent a way to get something out of your throat. I did put something in your wife's throat, though.
Get it? It's a oral sex joke.
It was my penis.
This joke is about fellatio.
Anyway, I've called to tell you. I've called to tell you that Anna is with me.
And she's going to be staying
she fucking
with me
hates
forever.
you. Yes, bye, click.
Goodbye.
I didn't really hang up. I just said click. You hang up. No, you hang up.
Oh.
So that happens.
And then
not quite
Mark
as entertaining
gets
as
a
that
call. Mark's been trying to get this Heinrich guy's contact information, like his phone number or where he lives, because he wants to confront her. And Anna's got this friend named Margie, who he's called a couple times to try to get some information, and she finally does. She gives him Heinrich's phone number.
Real quick on Margie. How the fuck does Margie know it? But real quick on Margie. Do you get a sense that Margie hates Mark and Mark hates Margie?
Yeah.
Okay, do they fuck later?
I thought that too. Like, I was so, maybe it was a hate fucking. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they hate fuck. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, I thought that too.
That comes later because that's about an hour away.
Yeah, it's way down the road. And
he
then so he
gets a phone
calls the
number.
phone number, and then a woman answers, and he's like,
An old woman.
yeah, and he's like, I'm looking for my wife. I'm looking for Anna. And the woman's like, I haven't seen Anna in weeks. And he's like, huh?
But I
That's
miss
weird.
her.
Where the hell is she? Yeah, I really like her. She's a good girl. She's banging my son.
Yeah, and he's like, well, she's my wife. And she's like, oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah, the woman's not like, what? She's married? She's just
then-
like, oh, well, my son likes her.
And then the next scene is another scene that just confused the shit out of me. Was Mark takes Bob to school, and
Yeah.
as soon as he gets like he's like walking him up the stairs or whatever, and he sees Bob's teacher, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like it looks, well, it is. It's his wife, but with like lighter
was the
hair
actress.
and green eyes. Yeah, same actress. I mean, it's not his wife, but yeah, same actress. And he's like, what
And
the
then he,
hell's
like,
going on
grabs
here? What
her,
kind of
and
game
he's
is
like-
this? And it grabs her, and she's like, what?
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, you just look exactly like my wife. And she's like, I get that all the time.
Yeah, he's like, have you seen my wife? She's like, yeah, your kid's teacher. I see your wife like every day, dude.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Mark goes to Heinrich's house. And they have a moment. Now, Heinrich is this older German man who doesn't like to button shirts up all the way.
Yeah, it shows a lot
And
of chest.
he's also very free sexually. I've
Yes.
in my head.
Dude,
he's
that's
like
how
touchy feely.
Yes. This conversation is so awkward, and yeah, he keeps touching him, and there's rubbing, and there's like
He's
very
like,
close
"Mark,
face talk.
Listen, Mark. We can settle this like men, or we can just, share or share each other. It doesn't matter, So then Mark's like, you know what? He's had enough of this. He's like, where is she? He's like, she's not here. I haven't seen her in a while, but I really think we should fuck, right? Let's get back at her. This will be so fun. You know what she would really hate? She would really hate if you and I fucked each other. So let's do it right now.
Yeah, that would really, really piss her off. If I were looking to get even, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Das gut.
So Heinrich's mom comes home, and Mark kind of settles down a little bit because he's like trying to be respectful, but he's still pissed off. So finally he gets so pissed off at this Heinrich guy, he throws a blow. But Heinrich, he's just like, fuck you. And he like fucking starts doing like ballet karate on him.
Dude, this was one of the weirdest fight scenes I've ever seen. And there's going to be more of them. But it's like, who
He, like, does this-
choreographed this? Like, have either of these actors, is anyone associated with the movie ever been in a fight?
Or seen one.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a fight?
This whole movie, like, not even the fight scenes, but there's a lot of twirling, a lot of like cameras moving in circles, people moving in circles. Like, that's not how you fight.
You don't understand, David. This is artistic.
That's true. It's very, very artsy.
Liberties and license, and Andrzej Zulawski is like, whatever his fucking name is, he's like a true artist.
Yeah, and a kung fu master.
You don't understand. He's a kung fu man. He taught Jackie Chan everything he knows.
He
Okay?
really did. But Heinrich wins the fight, and Mark goes home.
No, handedly.
Yeah.
Like, Mark doesn't even get a fucking he doesn't even barely punch him. Like, you know how like usually the loser of the fight will get one good punch in, and then the winner of the fight's like, all right, it's on, and then they beat the shit out of him. No. Even Daniel LaRusso punched Johnny like twice in the beach scene in
That's true.
Karate Kid
Yeah.
before he got his ass beat. Not Sam Neill. Sam Neill woofed on every one of them.
Fighting an old man.
Fucking
He's old but
no wonder
scrappy.
Bob likes. No wonder why Bob likes Heinrich more than he likes Mark.
Yeah, come on,
He's
man.
my
Toughen
real
up.
dad. So Mark does the only thing he can think of. He hires someone to go follow. Yeah, but wait a second. This fucker's a spy.
Yeah, right?
Why is he hiring anybody?
I thought that too. Like, come on, man.
I didn't
Have you
think that
seen
until
True
just
Lies?
now. Yeah, like, you're a fucking spy, dude.
You don't have, and I can understand you don't want to follow her around because you don't want to be spotted. But like, you don't have a Tom Arnold, little buddy, you can do it,
Dude, even if, like, she's not going to see him. If he's a really good spy, he's like this spy that everybody wants. Like, she's not going to notice him.
And spoiler, the private investigator that he hires is the worst fucking investigator ever because like he follows her like right behind her. Like it's so obvious.
Yeah, he's like walking behind her. Do you ever get those moments where you're driving and someone turns and they're behind you and you're like, okay, well, whatever. And then you turn again down a street
Yes,
that
and you're
maybe
like,
not a lot of people turn
He's
down.
following us.
It's like, what did I do? What did I do? Why are they following me? Like, am I going to stop and they're going to be like, hey, fucker.
Yeah. This person
cut
in the
me off.
minivan
I'm
behind
gonna
me,
kill you.
I think they're following me. I'm very scared.
Yeah. And then they just turn off and you're like, oh, okay. Or it's your neighbor.
Yeah, that's the best when they pull into the house right next to you. You're like, oh, you're my next door neighbor. Hello.
Or what's even worse is when the person in front of you is going the exact route you're going and you're like, oh, I don't want it to look like I'm following them.
Yeah, or do I?
Yeah. Sometimes I just flash my lights at them.
Oh, after Mark gets the shit kicked out of him by Heinrich, he goes home and slaps Anna around because Anna comes back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He beats he doesn't really beat the shit out of her. He slaps her a few times.
They start arguing. She slaps him, and then he slaps the shit out of her, though. He slaps her probably 10 times.
Yeah, and then she grabs one of those electric carving knives.
Oh, yeah.
And she puts it up to her throat, and she starts to slice her throat, but he stops her before it goes too deep. And then he takes it, and he cuts his own arm.
Yeah, in several different places. And I was like, why? Why are you doing
And she
this?
says, and she goes, it doesn't hurt, does it? And he's like, no, it doesn't. And then she leaves. And he's like, all right.
Yeah, what?
Next scene. So he hires this private investigator, as David said, who follows her. Like, I don't know, he's about 3 steps behind her the entire day. And this guy sees that she has a second apartment.
Yeah, she's
or
got a
flat,
secret.
if you will.
In a really shitty neighborhood.
Yeah, and he goes up to this apartment. And it's a really shitty like apartment too.
Yeah.
It's like the wallpaper's peeling off the wall. It's like there's no furniture. There's like a bed, but it's like just a mattress on
Yeah,
the
and
ground.
it's
It
just
looks
on
like
the
a fucking
ground.
drug den. Yeah. And so he goes in there and he starts looking around, and this movie, I mean, I
Wait,
kind of
'cause
knew what the movie was about.
He rings the doorbell like several times and then just starts pounding on the door. I would not have opened that door if I was her. I'd be like, there's a fucking crazy person outside. And then
Yeah,
she finally
exactly.
opens it and he's like, oh, I'm the building inspector guy. I'm here to check
Yeah.
your windows. And she's like, my
Yeah,
windows are all good. And he's like, I got to see it for myself.
And then doesn't she like try to seduce him or something at one point? He's like,
because
ma'am,
he's checking
I
all
have...
the rooms and he's like, I just got to check the bathroom now. And it's very obvious she doesn't want him to go into the bathroom. And she's like, oh, you want a glass of wine? And he's like, no, I'm working. She's like, are you sure? And yeah, she's kind of like being all flirty.
He's like, I'm a married man. He
Yeah.
says something like that.
I can't remember, but we find out later she's barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah,
But
because
he's like, I'm
actually
going to
gay.
go into that bathroom. Yeah.
But he goes and he looks and he sees this fucking creature. Now this is where the movie just goes, I'm going to
Yeah.
go over here first. This is like some H.P. Lovecraft shit too.
Yeah, it's
going
very
on.
squid-like, tentacly.
And it's like just fish flopping on the fucking wherever the fuck it is. And he's like, huh? And then she grabs the wine bottle and she breaks it and then she stabs him with it and kills him.
Yeah. Fuck.
He's dead.
Yeah. But Mark does have the address because right before he goes in the building, the inspector like calls him up from a payphone and tells him where he is. So now Mark knows about the apartment.
There's another detective. We said that this guy was gay. His lover is like another detective. or something. I don't know if he's a detective or what he is, but he goes to the apartment also to find his boyfriend, and he finds the creature, and he sees his lover's dead body there, and Anna proceeds to like beat the shit out of him, like with a pillow or something. Like it was like something like really small, and he's like,
I thought it was like a bottle of milk or something. It was something weird. Yeah, something that would not kill somebody. Oh, and the monster looks a little bit different this time too, and it's in the bed. And doesn't she say something like he was making love to me all day? I was like,
yeah,
fucking gross.
She was
dude.
fucking that squid monster. And she grabs his gun and shoots him. Yeah, so he's dead.
Because he tries to shoot her, but yeah, she gets the upper hand. She shoots him a bunch of times and kills him. So like while this is going on, Heinrich goes to Mark's apartment looking for Anna, and he's like, "She's not here, dude." And he's like, "Well, she's not with me. Where is she?" And he's another very strange scene. Like, was he on drugs or what? Because like he's walking around the apartment twirling and just
he's like, "I can't believe this."
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, "What is going on? What is this guy's deal?"
And Mark kind of enjoys this because Heinrich is all...
Now he's kind of tortured. Like, why doesn't she want to be with me? And he's like, it sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then Mark hooks up with Bob's teacher, which is also a weird scene. Because they just kind of lay there naked.
Yeah, it was hardly a love scene.
And in the middle of the night, I had to rewind this because
maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why Anna wants to cheat on him, because she's like, this guy thinks that making love is just laying next to me naked. Like that's not how it works. Like you gotta put it in.
Yeah, and you gotta put on
like we have a kid together. Like how did that happen?
Take it out. Put it in, take it out. Like try it.
You don't have to take it all the way out. Just take it out a little bit.
Yeah.
If you take it all the way out, it's harder to get back in,
and you're gonna miss. Like you're gonna jam it.
That'll hurt both of us.
Break your dick. Fuck up your perineum.
You might hit my perineum.
Okay,
so fuck this. I'm gonna go fuck a squid.
So I had to rewind this part because in the middle of the night after they bang, presumably. Mark wakes up to the sound of Bob screaming like bloody murder from his bedroom. So he's like, oh, fuck. So he runs in there and he like grabs his son. And he's like, hey, it's okay. It was just a nightmare or whatever. He consoles him. And he goes back into the bedroom. And then the teacher, I think her name's Helen, is talking to him. Mm-hmm. Sam Neill turns and you see a little bit of his bush and you see his ass. So I was like, did he run into the kids' room completely naked? So I had to rewind it. Yes, he did.
I told you that story about how my dad
at that point.
Told you that story about how my dad came out.
Yeah.
When my stepdad came out that one time naked, and I was just like, "Aye,
that's a dick."
But I mean, like, if you sleep naked, right, or if you fall asleep naked or whatever, and something happens in the middle of the night, you're not gonna be like, "Hold on, let me just put these pants on." You're gonna walk out there flopping around. In his defense. But of course you noticed that, by the way.
Of course I did.
I'm just rewound it.
Let's see. Anna goes back to Mark's apartment. She eventually shows up. Now she's acting crazy.
Yeah, and she tells him about miscarriage that she had. And how she it flashes back to that, and she spewed a bunch of blood all over the place. And she went like nutso after she had a miscarriage.
Yeah, and as she's before she tells the story, she's also twirling around and acting very weird. But yeah, and we see kind of a flashback of this scene, and you see a bunch of goo and blood kind of just oozing from every orifice.
Mark has the address to the apartment, right?
Yeah.
And Heinrich, he gives it to Heinrich.
Gives it to Heinrich.
And Heinrich's like, I'm going to go over there and visit it. Oh, wait, doesn't Mark? Yeah.
No, you're right. Because Heinrich goes over there, and then they have a really awkward scene between Anna and Heinrich.
Why does he give it? But why does he give it to Heinrich?
I don't quite know. Well, I think it's also because he knows something weird is going on because the inspector guy is dead or missing. He knows he's missing at this point, I think. Right?
Doesn't Mark give it to him because he's like, oh shit, he's gonna go over there and I don't know.
I'm not quite sure why he did it either, or if he was just doing it to fuck with him. But he goes over there, Anna's there, and then they kind of kiss. They kind of make out. It's also just very strange. A lot of like just kind of face on face rubbing kind of stuff. Yeah. It's very awkward.
This is how we do it. We just put our cheeks together. And then he sees the creature. And Heinrich sees body parts in the fridge.
Yeah, he opens the fridge. He's like, I need a cold one. Oh, fuck. It's a head.
Fucking Dahmer's house.
And shit.
And we don't put the dicks on top. You have to put them in the crisper. Why?
The crisper.
Why is the dick on the top shelf? It needs to be in the crisper. She attacks Heinrich, and she like slices him or something. Yeah, and he gets out though.
Yeah, he escapes,
and he makes it to a payphone, and he calls Mark, and he's like, "Oh, ach du Liebe, Mark, Mark, please
help me."
Mark's like, "Hey, go to this bar, and I'll meet you there."
Yeah.
So he goes to this bar, and Heinrich proceeds to tell Mark.
Well, Mark doesn't go to the bar. Like, he's supposed to meet him there, but he goes to the apartment first. And
okay.
He sees all the body parts in the refrigerator and shit, and he doesn't see the monster or whatever the hell it is.
No, because it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But he sets everything up, and he turns like the gas on. He's gonna like
also,
start this
when
place
he sees
on
the
fire.
body parts, he starts screaming and twirling, lots of twirling. And yeah, you're right. He goes to the oven,
Stove.
and starts turning the stove and turns on the gas. And you're like, okay, what the hell's he doing?
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
Then he leaves and he goes to visit Heinrich at the bar. And Heinrich proceeds to tell him like, "Oh, there's body parts in the fridge, and
Anna's
there's
killing
this
people.
squid monster."
Yeah, we got to go to
all this
we
kind
got
of
to go to the police.
And Mark's like, I don't know, dude. Maybe you're just over exaggerating. Because Mark doesn't like this Heinrich dad.
No, he fucking hates
Dude.
him. And Heinrich, I mean,
So
they don't
they're-
like each other because he's like, well, if you don't want me to say anything to the cops, you're gonna have to pay me off. I know you got money.
Yeah. Then they go into this bathroom. Okay. Sam Neill goes to the trash and grabs a feather
And a shoe.
and a shoe. What was the shoe for?
It was to clog the toilet.
Oh, yes. Okay. He grabs a feather and a shoe. Like he's like MacGyver.
Yeah, what if he
of
just went in there
murdering
and just
people.
took a big shit? He's like, that'll clog the toilet real nice.
So he takes the shoe and he shoves it down into the toilet to clog it, and he
then he
flushes it, and then he makes himself throw up by sticking the feather in the back of his throat, and then he's like, "Heinrich, please, oh, I'm sick, I need your help." And Heinrich's like, "Oh,
Yeah, why
Mark,
didn't you just stick
get
his
over
finger down
yourself."
there?
I don't know.
Why do you need a feather?
I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, he's like,
don't know.
oh, Heinrich, help me. Hold my hair back.
Heinrich's like, he's like, "All right, I'll come and help you." Then we have to go to the police. So he goes in there, and Mark takes the fucking lid of the toilet, and he like bashes his head in, and then he shoves Heinrich's face in the toilet, and it's overflowing now because it's been clogged, and he keeps flushing it, and Heinrich drowns.
Yep. God damn.
And then he puts the lid back on, and he locks the stall door from the inside and climbs out. He's like, perfect murder.
Yeah, he didn't even take the shoe out. Like, if somebody finds it, they're gonna be like, "Why is there a shoe in here?" And it's not. And it's not
why-
Heinrich's shoe. And then
Yeah,
I
and
also
he got
didn't
hit
understand
in-
this because then he takes Heinrich's wallet and his keys. I know why he does the key part,
but he throws them in the apartment, and then he starts the fire. So it can put Heinrich, I guess, at that apartment.
and frame him for the murders. But I was like, but why
guess.
is his? Because it's not like he's trying to make it look like he burned to death in the fire.
No, it's not a well thought out plan.
I don't quite understand what the point of that was, but whatever. You do you, Mark.
So he
And he blows
He
up the
sets-
apartment. Yeah.
he sets the apartment on fire, and then he gets on Heinrich's motorcycle. Oh, also he's riding around on Heinrich's fucking motorcycle.
Yeah, that's not suspicious.
No. He finds Margie at the house, and she comes out, and she's like dying.
Yeah, she's like in the elevator and she's covered in blood. He's like, what?
Yep. And he's just like, "Oh well, she's dead. I fucked her. What?"
What of it?
So he goes up. Anna's upstairs, right?
He takes her.
In the
Yeah, he
apartment?
takes her body upstairs to the apartment.
Yeah, and
Yeah, Anna's there. And she
Anna
goes,
and him-
"Do you believe in
Anna and
God?"
him- Anna and him fuck,
Yeah.
and
And then they start to plan how they're going to cover up Margie's
death.
because Anna did it.
Yeah. And then for some reason, like Mark gets a phone call from Heinrich's mom. Maybe days have passed at this point. I don't know. And then she's like, Heinrich's dead, isn't he? And Mark's like, yeah. And then he goes over and visits her. And she's like, oh, I saw my son. That wasn't my son. Where is his soul? His soul is gone or some shit. I don't know. Dude, I was kind of lost at this point.
It was kind of weird. And then
Perfectly
while they're talking, she goes to like a little pill box and like takes a bunch of them and then she lays down on her
ODs.
bed and is dead within like seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, and right around the same time, Mark finds Anna banging the fucking squid monster. I think it's the first time Mark sees it, and he's like,
And then he jerks off in the corner when he watches it.
and weeps a little bit while he's masturbating. Yes.
He's like, I got cucked by a squid.
Puts a necktie and strangles himself a little bit.
But the next day he's walking around the streets. He does a lot of this. Like, there's a lot of like just, what's going on here? Like, everybody's wandering and
twirl.
spinning.
Wandering, twirling, flailing.
He gets approached by some of these people that hired him
Yeah.
before. Like, where the fuck did this come from? There's one scene at the beginning where he's talking to his business associates.
It's
and
like a
now there's
debrief
scene
at the
end.
beginning because he says basically that he wants to quit. Like, my job is done. I don't want to do this anymore. And they're like, we need you.
Yeah.
You're a boy.
And also one thing that they say is one of the guys is like, does our suspect still wear pink socks all the time?
Yeah. That's like the only
right, well-
hint that we get that he's like a spy.
Yeah, 120 minutes later, that comes back, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess someone did say something about fucking pink socks at the
I
very
had
beginning
a
of
similar
the movie."
reaction. So I went, "Oh, how clever!"
But this guy's like, "Hey, we need you to work for us again," and he's like, "No," or I don't know. They're like,
While
have
they're
ways
having
of
this
making it work."
conversation, did you pick up on the music?
No,
It was like straight up action music. Like while they're having just a regular conversation, I was like, "This music is so out of place and weird for what is happening on screen."
Well, yeah, we're almost done. We can talk about other things. We're almost done here. So Mark goes back to Margie's apartment, and it's like surrounded by cops. So he like hijacks a fucking taxi cab, and he says to the cab driver, he's like, drive
puts a
straight
gun to
into
his
that
head.
cop car. And the cab driver's like, you got it, dude.
Yeah, sure thing, pal. You're the guy with the gun. All right.
And he does that. And then the cops are like, what? Someone just hit my car. And so whoever's inside can sneak out.
Yeah, so we see Mark's car pull out and drive away, like while the cops are distracted.
We assume that it's fucking Anna, right?
Yeah.
Anna and the squid. And Mark gets on the motorcycle and he like rides away, and then he's got cops and he's got like the fucking
He's also been shot several times before he gets on the
been shot.
motorcycle. He's in bad
The cops are after him, the spy people are after him, and he's riding away on this motorcycle, and he goes to somewhere. Where do they go? They go to some building. I don't even know what building this is.
He crashes the motorcycle, has a pretty nasty spill, and I think he just walks into whatever building he happened to crash next to.
But
it's
Anna's
like
there too.
Yeah, she finds him. Well, it doesn't even say something like, how'd you find me? And she's like, we've got a connection, you and I, or something cheesy. I don't know. Yeah, she's found him.
I should mention this. I should mention this too. This was a while ago, but he drops Bob off at Helen's house, the teacher.
Oh, yeah. So the kid's out of the picture.
And Helen's babysitting him. All right. So Mark and Anna are like running up these stairs, or Mark's running up these stairs, and then all of a sudden Anna comes. Yeah, Anna comes, like David said, and she's like, "Oh, I found you, and here's like the guy I've been fucking," and it's Mark.
Yeah. Fucking Sam Neill.
The squid has turned into Mark.
He's
Sam
involved.
Neill.
Yeah, I got your replacement lined up.
Mark's going to shoot it, but Anna and him are gunned down by the cops or whatever, like machine guns. They're all
Which I also thought was weird. It's like they wouldn't try to arrest them. Like they don't. The cops at this point don't know that
Germany,
Anna's
dude.
done anything. Like that's just so they just
she's
killed
guilty. Guilty by association,
Yeah,
my
it's
friend.
like, oh, it's kind of
This
fucked
is
up. Shoddy police work.
1980s fucking Iron Curtain, my friend.
Yeah, maybe things work a little different in Germany.
Yeah.
But yeah, now Anna's like laying on top of Mark, and they're both bleeding to death, like dying.
Yep.
And then she makes a very strange decision that I also didn't understand.
she takes the gun and she contorts her fucking body so she can point the gun to her back, and she pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
Like,
why? If you're gonna kill yourself, why don't you shoot yourself in the head?
yeah.
I didn't get it. Like, why are you
don't
shooting
know.
yourself in the back? And it probably
And
went
then-
through her. So Mark was probably like, you also shot me because you're laying on top of me.
But it doesn't matter
both
because
gonna
Mark's
die
still
anyway.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. The doppelganger starts running up the stairs. He flees, and Mark jumps off of the side of the railing. And it's one of those staircases that kind of go around, and there's that middle
Yeah.
part that goes down, like you see in movies all the time. Mm-hmm. And people fall from them and die. Well, that's what happens.
That's what Mark does.
And then, like, one of the spies who was trying to get Mark to work with him again is like walking up the stairs, and he stops to adjust his socks, and he's got pink socks.
Oh shit!
Dun dun dun! Oh my God, David! It came back! Oh.
The pink socks. There it is.
It was such a fucking mystery. I'd been worried about
whole
this the
movie.
entire fucking movie. I fucking forgot about that bullshit.
I did too. Because who cares?
Because who gives a shit? All right, so cut to Helen and Bob, and they're sitting there doing whatever, and the doorbell rings, and Helen's like, "Oh, I got to go answer the door," and Bob's like, "Don't answer it. Don't answer it.
Don't open
Yeah,
the door.
don't
Don't
open.
open the door. Don't open the door." Yeah.
Yeah, just over and over and over again, this fucker says it. And he's fully clothed, and he runs upstairs, runs into the bathroom, into a full tub.
Yeah, the
It's
bath
just
has already been
hanging out.
run.
It's just hanging out, the water. And he just jumps into the tub face down. And I don't know if he drowns.
I think so.
Kills
I think
himself.
he drowned himself. Yeah, I was like, what?
I don't mean to laugh, but yes, I thought that too. I was like,
I thought
what
it
the
was funny. It's okay to laugh. Fucking weird. Bob, you dumbass. Why?
And then Helen answers the door, and of course it's Sam Neill, the doppelganger squid man, and he like is looking all weird, and there's sounds of like bomb, like World War III's going on outside,
Yeah, I didn't understand this. Yeah, we hear like bombs
and then it just
exploding
zooms in,
Fucking weird.
and then it just zooms in on Helen's eyes, and they glow. The end.
Yep.
What more can you have in a movie?
Dude, you know what's funny? When I started watching this movie, my wife went for a jog after I was about 30 minutes in, and I was like, this is a really weird movie and really confusing. And I was like, but I have a feeling things are going to start falling into place here pretty soon, and the pieces are going to start coming together.
Yep.
And when she got back from her run, like, I don't know, an hour or so later, I was like, it actually managed to get even more confusing. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I wrote in my rating here. I write down my ratings sometimes, like my thoughts on the movie.
Yeah.
And this was right after I watched it. This movie was probably one of the most confusing things I've ever seen. Not to mention boring. The acting, I will give it this. The acting on the woman's part, I thought the woman did a good job. Isabel Adjani, who played Anna, I thought she did okay. Sam Neill was an overactor. He was pretty much, and I wrote this down, he's pretty much the same character he is in John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. Like, he goes crazy, like,
Yeah.
he goes from 0 to 60, like, quick. Yeah, because I feel like she's like a woman, getting back to the Isabel and Johnny, she's playing a woman who's like in the midst of a mental breakdown, and she flip-flops back and forth with such ease that I feel like she does a good job, but the movie's not good. So that's like,
Yeah.
you can be the best actor in the world, but if the movie's shitty, the movie's shit. And I read some reviews online of critics who were way smarter than me, okay, which is everybody. And they talk about the themes of this movie, saying that the creature doesn't actually exist, and it's just a reflection of Anna's psychosis, or it's Mark's consciousness, unable to accept his wife's betrayal, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. I'm an ordinary dude, and I like to watch movies.
And a lot of people see the monster.
Yes, exactly. I like to watch entertaining movies, though, David.
Yes.
And this one wasn't entertaining.
I'm sorry.
I can appreciate symbology in a movie. Like we were talking, not on a podcast, but separately, we had talked about the movie Nope. and how it's like an onion and it's like all these layers to it, and you gotta. And I like symbology sometimes and deeper meanings to stuff, but this movie just fucking sucked. Half of Pamela Voorhees Head.
Oh shit. Yeah, we're pretty close on this one, and I really expected to like this movie. Going in. So I was super disappointed. The plot is incoherent and just doesn't make any sense. And I think I mentioned this earlier. The acting, to me, it's all over the place. Like there were some scenes I thought the acting was really good, and then there were some scenes where I thought the acting was atrocious. But the script, like the story just doesn't make sense, and it's hard to follow. And I don't think there really is anything to follow. And then there's things that happen that don't really make sense or never get explained. Like, why does the teacher look just like his wife? Is the teacher a doppelganger?
Well, see, that's what I thought too. Is the teacher a doppelganger?
And if
that's
so,
why.
How and why?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I didn't care. Because the same reason. Like, I was just bored, and the movie was just weird. And I like weird movies, but I felt like this was like weird for weirdness' sake.
When you're watching a movie and you're waiting for it to end, that's never a good sign.
Not a good sign. Or when you pause, like, how many minutes are left? And you're like, okay, I got 10 minutes. This is going to be the longest 10 minutes of my life.
Well, I hope the credit sequence is like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, that's always the best. Yeah, you get a real long end credit sequence, and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Those 10 minutes were actually just 2. But yeah, it just felt very, very long. And then the ending was baffling. I just didn't understand it. So like, was there like now a bunch of these doppelgangers and they were taking over the world?
Or was it like Satan incarnate being born into the world and causing chaos?
I don't know. But I gave this one a 1. And that's only for, I thought the creature actually looked kind of cool. So some of the visuals.
I don't disagree with that, but we didn't see it enough.
Yeah. But
we
as
saw
we
just
did see it,
pounding away at that chick all
evolving.
the time. Yeah. Yeah, but we didn't see it enough to understand that it kept evolving. You know what I'm saying? It's like the person who did this like was the same person who did the special effects for Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Alien. And I was like, well, guess what? We don't see those creatures a lot in those movies either.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, maybe that's that guy's. He's like, yeah, I can do your special effects. We don't have to see the creature a lot, do we?
Yeah.
They're like, no, I'm your man.
Yeah, and I liked some of like the way some of the scenes were shot. I thought looked cool, but like this was an artsy fartsy kind of movie.
Pretentious.
A pretentious movie that didn't have the type of story or plot that was strong enough to really justify its pretentiousness.
Exactly. So that's 3/4 of a fucking head.
Yeah.
Which means it's a giant turd in a public bathroom that you're going to drown yourself in.
Why did you drown him after he took a dump in there? That's what you should have done if you really wanted to stick it to Heinrich.
He's like, Heinrich, hold on 1 second. He has to like go like eat a bunch of what helps you
chili.
poop? I don't know. Yeah, chili and like roughage stuff to slide it right out. Fiber.
That's something with high fiber.
He's like, give me about, I don't know, 30, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes. For some reason.
He's like, there's a Chipotle across the street, right? I'll be right back.
When I used to smoke, which I've been smoke free for almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in this spring. Thank you. But when I used to smoke, like if I drank a cup of coffee and I had a cigarette, it's like instant laxative. Like I don't know what it is. Like maybe smoking just loosens up your butthole and it's like, hey,
it just slides right out. Gloop.
If you have any stories about loosened buttholes and you want to share them with us, you should. We'd love to read stories like that. You should contact us. The myriad of different ways that you can contact us. And what are they, David?
Twitter, Facebook, the Slasher app, TikTok, YouTube, Hive. Search the Swearwolves on all those platforms. On Instagram, search the Swearwolves podcast. You can go to our website, theswearwolves.com. You can email us at contact@theswearwolves.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 623-282-1851.
So for the Swearwolves this week, I'm Bret.
And I'm also Bret. New Bret.
Auf Wiedersehen.